Hey everybody, this is Chef Ashley Shep, and I just wanted to go live real quick and talk about something that's really relevant right now. Coronavirus, you hear it everywhere. And just to share some things that I keep in my pantry, my fridge. I'm actually going to show you. I'll flip the camera around. Don't judge me because it's kind of a mess right now. But just some things that I keep on hand regardless of if there's a virus or not. I am a former couponer, and so I am reformed, I'll say. And so I like to keep things that are on hand when they're on sale because that way you don't have to worry about it when you need it. And so I'm just going to dive right in. If you are joining live, then let me know how you're doing during this crazy pandemic situation. And let me know if you have any questions about meal plans that you can have, things you can eat, things to help keep you sane, anything food related. And I say that because somebody actually asked me about doing a coronavirus meal plan, and I was like, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. And they mentioned like having things that are really quick to make if you're sick or if you're recovering or taking care of somebody else who is sick. So I was like, oh, okay. So let me know if you think that's a good idea and I can work on that. But, didn't introduce myself. I am Chef Ashley Shep, and I help busy moms get dinner done faster. And tonight, real quick, I'm going to show you some things that I keep in my kitchen and in order to just be prepared. If I need to make a dinner on the fly, if I, see if I can turn these comments on so I can see y'all. Let's see. I'll figure out how to do that. Facebook changes things all the time. So if you're saying something, I might not be able to see it now. But so I'm just going to show you some things that I have in my freezer, my pantry, that just help me to make meals really quickly. And I'm sporting my glasses because I have an eye infection. I'm okay, but I know I look a little different. So we're going to start in the pantry. Like I said, do not judge my pantry. It's kind of a mess right now. So, okay. All right, let me turn the light on. So, some things that I keep on hand are, of course, rice, because rice is a very easy starch. You can throw in the rice cooker. This is jasmine rice. I also have brown rice that I keep. And this I just get from Sprouts in the big bins that they have. So it's just easy to have as a side. Onions are another one. They go in pretty much every recipe I do, unless it's breakfast. But even then, if it's like a breakfast, like an omelet or scramble, or not eggs, I'm sorry, with eggs. Onions are a good one to have on hand because they go into a lot of recipes. They help you to stretch the recipe out somewhat. And move this apron over. Trying to do this with one hand. This is actually tied. And here I have a couple different types of potatoes. Let me just take these out. And these are Korean sweet potatoes. I decided to try them out because I was at the farmer's market just to kind of test them out. So I'll put those in something this week. And then I have sweet potatoes are in this bag. On this side, I just got these today. These are Yukon potatoes. Potatoes are, let me flip back. Potatoes are a good option to have because you can use them literally for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're really good in scrambles. You can chop them up into tiny bite-sized pieces. You can put them on a sheet pan for sheet pan meals. And because not that they're bland, but because they're so versatile, you can season them any kind of way you want to. So definitely recommend having potatoes, a couple different varieties. I would say sweet potatoes and either a red potato or Yukon Gold potato. Those are two of my favorites. So back to the pantry. Beans are another good option. We have black beans just because we do a lot of Mexican dishes, a lot of Southwestern dishes. Canned veggies. I know some people are like, oh my God, you have canned vegetables. Yes, I do. Because sometimes you don't have time for fresh and you would rather have something than nothing at all. And so we'll do sweet peas like you saw. We'll do green beans. We'll do corn. Those are usually the three that we stick with. They have other options as well. And I'll season them with like some sea salt, some sriracha pepper, just to kind of make it a little less bland. You can do butter, olive oil, things like that. And then you're gonna have like your tomato-based sauces, like crushed tomatoes, or if you want to just go straight to the tomato sauce, Those are good options for things like your pasta dishes. So these are actually some leftover whole wheat noodles that I had from when I made chicken noodle soup the other week. So I'm gonna do some type of scramble situation like is on the package. And I don't know if y'all know this, but a lot of times that you can find recipes right on the package of foods that you buy. I'm not saying they're all good. That's not what I'm saying. But they give you an idea of different things you can combine and mix together, and then put your own flavor on it. And so definitely make sure you check those out. So another thing I recommend to have in your pantry, just in general, so these are noodles. I have a couple different kinds. I got some orzo, and one thing about orzo is that it stretches really really well. Like this same box I've had 4 or 5 different meals off of. So if you haven't ever tried orzo, definitely check it out. Got some just Italian spaghetti, and then some whole grain spaghetti. And so I say pasta, you don't have to do pasta that is made from flour. You could do chickpea pasta, there's lentil pasta, there's lots of different options. And don't always feel like your pasta has to be a tomato based dish. Like, don't feel like you have to use noodles, or don't feel like you have to use an Italian flavor situation for pasta. Pasta is just another starch. So that's another option of what to have. And then broth, I particularly like chicken broth, and I get the low sodium version. If you are vegetarian, you can do veggie broth, or if you're vegan, you can do veggie broth. But it's just good to have on hand to stretch out sauces, or to stretch out, to thin out sauces, or to make soups. So I usually have 3 or 4 boxes of these on hand. All right, let's go on here. Okay, tortillas are another good option. And once again, just like the pasta, don't feel like you have to be tied into a Mexican dish just because you're using a tortilla. It's just another type of bread. If you're watching your carbs, that's another good option to use for that. I use it for breakfast roll-ups. So I'll do onions, peppers, sausage, and it ends up being a burrito, but it doesn't have like a Mexican flavor to it, which I love Mexican food, so I do sometimes put salsa on it. But don't feel like you have to be tied to the Mexican flavor if you're using a tortilla. Another thing you can do instead of just having a regular sandwich with tortillas is to do like turkey roll-ups. So just get sliced turkey. Provolone cheese is one that I like. I'll put spinach in there, some kind of like spread, like maybe a mustard or honey mustard or something like that. Roll it up, easy lunch. If you are not somewhere where you can heat up your food, that's a good lunch option as well. All right, I think that's all for the pantry. Let me take my food out. You heard the oven go off. I'll give you a sneak peek at what I'm eating for dinner. While we do that, I don't think my salmon's done, but whoop, steamy situation. All right, so we got some salmon, broccoli, and I just kind of put a couple different seasonings on that, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll post that later. And then we got some sweet potato fries. I think these are done, so I'm gonna take these out. And I think I'm gonna leave my salmon here for a little bit longer. Maybe about 3 minutes. Okay. So, and we're gonna take it over to the freezer. So I can't see my comments. I can't figure out how to turn them on. I want to see what you guys are saying. But if you are just tuning in, this is Chef Ashley Shep, and I am showing things that I keep in stock in my fridge, in my pantry, in my kitchen, just in general, not necessarily when there's a pandemic or a virus. And these are things that will help you to quickly get dinner done faster, or lunch for that case. So we're taking it to the freezer. All right, ice cream. You know, I love ice cream. All right, so frozen veggies I also kind of keep on hand just because they are, I was gonna say they're quick. Sometimes they're quick depending upon how you cook them. Some of them you can steam right in the bag, but I like it because you can throw it into different dishes, and also you get the freshness of having it be fresh without having it actually be fresh, if that makes sense. They do freeze them at the peak of freshness. So all right, let me move this out of the way. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Move this. All right, So, and I just got this today from Sprouts, and so this is just frozen shrimp. I normally get the ones that don't have the head on and that are already peeled, but those were a good price. They were $3.99 a pound at Sprouts today, so I got them. But I like them because same kind of concept as the veggies. You get the aspect of having fresh shrimp, but they're frozen. And so they're easy to throw into different dishes. If you want to add a little bit of seafood, they defrost really quickly. Same thing with seafood, it defrosts really quickly, so you're not having to wait all day for like your chicken to defrost or whatever before you cook it. So it can make for a really quick meal. Same aspect, squeezed over here. Got some sockeye salmon, which is my favorite kind of salmon. Now you might think, okay, this is extreme. This is probably the size of my arm, but let's see if I can show you the tag. All right, so sockeye salmon is normally like $14.99 a pound. It was $7.99 a pound this week at Sprouts. This version was previously frozen. However, because of the way, let me flip back. Because of the way they froze it, it's going to prevent freezer burn. They basically made a glaze over the fish, which is what fishermen do when they actually catch fish to store it for long periods of time, and it's vacuum sealed, so this will stay fresh for a very long time. So I got 2 of those, and sometimes I will actually defrost these, season them, and then I have a vacuum sealer, so I'll seal them up again, so that way they're really just ready to go when it's time for me to use them. One other thing is some tortellini. This is same kind of concept as the pasta that's in the pantry. But it has cheese in it, so just to add some variety. And then underneath here, I have some ground turkey. And so I'll buy my meats when they're on sale. So for example, I'll do Perdue chicken, and I will get it when, sorry, looking for my oven mitt. Okay. I'll get Perdue chicken when it's on sale for $1.99 a pound. Normally it's anywhere from $3.99, $2.99 a pound. Right now it's $2.99 at Kroger, or Kroger family of stores, depending upon where you are. But I'll get it when it's $1.99 a pound. And I'll take my salmon out. And I'll stock up on it. And I do that regularly just because since it's frozen, I mean, it's gonna stay good for a while in the freezer. And then I make ahead meals with them. So that means that basically I'll clean it, I'll season it, and then I'll seal it back up in a vacuum sealer. What is it in my hair? Fuzzies from a cloth, sorry, okay. So I'll clean my chicken, I'll season it, and then I'll seal it back up in a vacuum sealer. And that means that that meal is now a make-ahead meal that I can use to eat later. And I'll throw it in my Instant Pot, or I'll get my husband to throw it in the Instant Pot. And that's just one less thing I have to do later. So anytime you can find a protein that you like, it doesn't have to be meat, when it's on sale. Let me turn this oven off because it's hot. It's 70 degrees here in Georgia, and I got the oven on. Normally I don't cook in the oven. I usually use my appliances. But anyway, so anytime you can find a protein that you like that's on sale, stock up on it if you can eat it before it expires. And so that's kind of one of the things that people mess up on, is they'll stock up on certain things, but they will not consider how quickly their family eats it. So for us, I normally cook 2 or 3 nights a week. Usually 1 to 2 of those are chicken, and we'll have leftovers. And so since I know I can use my make-ahead meals, then that gives me an extended 6 months to a year, depending upon what the dish actually is, to be able to eat that. And I know for us, like obviously we're gonna eat that within 6 months to a year, so it's fine. So that's one tip with that. So find things that you can eat that will meet within your time frame. So so we did my pantry, we did my freezer, oh, fridge, forgot about the fridge. Once again, don't judge my fridge. I just went shopping today. So for here, I got some things defrosting, but I wanted to show you these because a lot of times people will say, oh, well, my produce goes bad so quickly and I don't have time to eat it, and they feel like they can't really stock up on produce because it'll expire or it'll mold or mildew, whatever, before their family has a chance to eat it. So I wanted to share these containers that I use to help things stay fresh a lot longer. And so these are, I've shared them before, but these are by the OXO brand, which is one of my favorite companies. And they are basically food saver containers, and they have these little carbon filters because the reason why your food goes bad is because it's emitting these gases. And so they also have this little indicator. So like, for example, these are berries because there's strawberries in here. So when I close this, I'm going to put it on the side that lets it vent a little bit. Other things, I would close it all the way. So the things that are on this side. They also have little, I'm going to flip it. I don't know if you can see that. They have little indicators for the months because the little filters last for up to 3 months. And so if I was good about using these, I would have put this on the right one. But, you know, I'll just check on Amazon and see when I bought it. Because I don't remember. But you put your produce in here, and it has like a little tray insert situation. And so it's lifted off. I can't really see it because it's frosted. But it's lifted off of the bottom, so your produce isn't sitting at the bottom. And that also helps with the gases that are emitted. And you just put it in there. Put that in there. And like I said, I'm going to leave it vented since these are berries. And then I just put it in the fridge like that. And so I have a couple different ones of these. There's a size that's smaller than this. That's about probably about half of the size, and then they have one that's larger for things like zucchini, squash, things like that, which usually stay pretty fresh. You really wouldn't, I wouldn't necessarily get one for that. I would more so use this for things like berries. I put spinach in here for 3 weeks, and it was fine. Like it seemed as if I had just bought it that week. Blueberries work really well in here. Any kind of produce that you want to keep that should be refrigerated, because that's another thing. Sometimes people store things in the fridge that don't really need to be stored in the fridge. But any kind of produce that you are wanting to save, I definitely recommend these containers. Like I said, they're by the OXO brand. I can tag them in the comments or put a link to the ones that I use. And this is something that helps me in order to stock up on produce without having to waste money by throwing it away at the end of the week. So if you are just tuning in, this has been Chef Ashley Shep, and I've gone through different ways that I don't want to say stock up, but I mean, I guess I do stock up. Different ways that I stay ready, just in general, not necessarily when there's an epidemic, but just, or a pandemic. Just in general, these are things that I have on hand in my pantry, my freezer, and in my fridge in order to just have dinner ready quickly or to have lunch or breakfast options. And so I'm trying to remember. I think that is all that I need to share with you. I cannot see the comments, so I'll go back once this is posted. I don't know what Facebook is doing. But if you have any questions for me, definitely put them in the comments. Or if you know somebody who needs this, then definitely share, tag them, things like that. And I mentioned at the beginning that someone asked me about doing a meal plan for like the coronavirus. And at first I thought, I mean, just eat what you normally eat, but because some places are having a hard time with different things, people aren't able to find stuff, or if you are somebody who is self-quarantining just because you are just like, I'm not trying to eat out right now, I want to make all my own food, and sometimes that can be overwhelming if you're not used to doing that, or if you're taking care of somebody who is sick and you want to make sure your immune system is strong, or to help nurse them back to health. So those are things I'm considering. So if that sounds like something you're interested, just let me know below. And once again, this has been Chef Ashley Shep. Have a good evening. Oh, wait. Let me show you my salmon now that it's done. Dinner time. I'll post what I put on here, too. And sweet potato fries, because they're easy. Have a good night.